Beyond the wall, where law means nothing, where survival is the only religion, there walked a man dressed in death. They called him the Lord of Bones, but his true name no one remembers, and in the end he didn't even die himself. In the frozen wilderness of Beyond the Wall, where clans rise and fall through bloodshed, fear is power, and Rattleshirt, the man known as the Lord of Bones, understood that better than anyone. In A Song of Ice and Fire, he is introduced not as a hero, not as a king, but as a nightmare. He wears armor stitched from the bones of his enemies, skulls hang from his shoulders, ribs guard his chest, fingerbones rattle when he moves. That sound, that rattle, is how he earned his other name, Rattleshirt. He wanted the world to hear death coming. When Mance Rayder united the wildlings, even brutal leaders like Rattleshirt bent the knee, though not happily, because Rattleshirt didn't believe in unity. He believed in dominance. Unlike charismatic warriors like Tormund Johnsbane, Rattleshirt ruled by humiliation and cruelty. He mocked weaknesses, he challenged rivals constantly. This contrast highlights two different philosophies of power among the free folk: leadership through respect versus rule through terror. Tormund's leadership is built on charisma and genuine strength that inspires loyalty, while Rattleshirt's is built on fear and cruelty. And when Jon Snow infiltrated the wildlings, Rattleshirt immediately sensed something different about him. Jon wasn't wild, he wasn't cruel, he wasn't free folk, and Rattleshirt despised him for it. The wildlings attack the wall, they fail, and when the smoke clears, Stannis Baratheon arrives like cold justice from the south. Mance Rayder is captured. The king beyond the wall refuses to kneel, and so he is sentenced to burn. Bound to a stake, flames rising, the free folk forced to watch their king scream. It is brutal, it is public, it is final, or so everyone believes. Here's where the story twists. Because in the books, that screaming man was not Mance Rayder, it was Rattleshirt. Through the magic of Melisandre, a glamour spell disguises Rattleshirt to look exactly like Mance and the real Mance. He is disguised as Rattleshirt, let that sink in. The Lord of Bones, a man who built his entire identity on intimidation, dies wearing another man's face, burned, not as himself, but as a king. Rattleshirt spent his life trying to appear powerful, but in death, he becomes a prop, a political illusion, a necessary sacrifice, and he never even knows it. After the burning, something strange happens. Rattleshirt, now secretly Mance Rayder, is imprisoned at Castle Black. Jon Snow later fights him in a sparring duel, and Jon is shocked. The man fights too well, too gracefully, too intelligently, because this isn't the cruel brute Rattleshirt once was. The bones are the same, but the warrior inside has changed. Only later does Melisandre reveal the truth. The Lord of Bones is Ash, and the king still lives. Rattleshirt wanted fear, reputation, dominance. He built an image so terrifying that even other wildlings avoided him. But in the end, he is remembered not for his victories, not for leadership, not for skill, but for being the man who burned in someone else's place. A fake king, a false martyr, a walking rattle of bones, reduced to smoke. Here are details many fans miss. Rattleshirt is described in the books as lean and harsh-voiced, not physically imposing. His armor does most of the intimidation. His hatred for kneeling mirrors the wildling philosophy of freedom, yet he himself followed Mance out of necessity. His death reinforces one of the biggest themes in the series. Identity is fragile, power is perception. In Game of Thrones, this entire glamour twist is removed. Instead, Rattleshirt simply dies in a brutal duel with Tormund, a far simpler ending. The magic was powered by a ruby hidden in the bone armor, similar to the one Melisandre wears. It emitted a faint, glowing light. Jon Snow knew about the swap. He sent the real Mance Rayder disguised as Rattleshirt on a secret mission to Winterfell to rescue his sister Arya. He didn't go alone. Mance was accompanied by 6 fierce spirit wives who acted as his agents to help him find Arya Stark in the treacherous halls of Winterfell. The show made him a savage side villain. The books made him a tragic pawn in a magical deception. Beyond the Wall, names are earned through strength. Rattleshirt earned his through fear. Disguised as a bard named Abel, Mance and his spearwives infiltrated the treacherous halls of Winterfell. Their mission, however, turned grim. Ramsay Bolton discovered the plot. He captured and brutally flayed several of the spearwives, displaying their skins on the castle walls as a chilling warning. Amid the chaos of a blizzard, Mance orchestrated the escape of Theon Greyjoy and the fake Arya, but he himself was reportedly captured. Jon Snow later received a letter from Ramsay, claiming Mance was held captive in a cage. His final true fate remains one of the North's dark mysteries, but history remembers him differently, not as the Lord of Bones, not as a wildling leader, but as the man who burned so a king could live. And that might be the cruelest irony of all. In the North, even death can wear a different face.